welcome back to my channel. Today's video is highly requested. In fact, this is probably my most requested video as of late. You guys asked me to do a tutorial on the look that I was wearing in my swap video that I did with April from Wanna Makeup. Because you guys asked, I thought I would go ahead and put together a tutorial creating that same eye look using the Morphe 35O palette. Sadly, this baby is constantly sold out on the Morphe website. I was fortunate enough that a dear friend of mine stopped by the store and picked one up for me, which is how I got my hands on it, and I'm so grateful that she did because I am obsessed with this palette. Knowing what I want to be doing for a look, I always reach for this just because it has obviously a lot of neutrals, a lot of warm neutrals that I just absolutely love and gravitate towards, plus perfect for this time of year. Reached out to you guys on Instagram and Snapchat and asked if you would prefer a voiceover or a talk through, and hands down everybody wanted a talk through, so I did my best to do a talk through. I hope you guys enjoy, and if you're interested in seeing how I achieved this eye look, then keep watching. So I'm priming my eyelid, and as you can see, I'm placing this all over my lid, and I took it right above the crease. Flat concealer brush and blend out the primer. This primer in particular is pretty gummy, so once I've blended that out, I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush and the Wet n Wild single in Brulee, and I'm going to dust this all over my lid, all the way up to my brow bone to help set that primer. Oftentimes, if a primer is too sticky, you can have issues with your shadow blending, and it just really helps with blending. So once you have a nice canvas like so, we're going to use this as our transition shade as well as our blending shade. Very similar to Makeup Geek's Peach Smoothie, so if you don't have this palette, that shadow will achieve the same effect. And just running that right in my crease and above, and just really blowing that out. Dust it all over your lid. No rhyme or reason with this step, folks, just laying down the color. A little bit more, and then I'm just going to run that right into the crease and give it a little bit more depth right in the crease. I'm going to apply that shadow all over my lid, being careful not to bump this shade higher than my crease. If you don't have this shade in your collection, you can certainly use something similar. Just make sure it's a very opaque rose gold with a ton of sheen. If you have Amber Rush by Loreal, that would work too. As you can see, I'm just taking my time, getting in the inner corner and really packing that on. You want it to be super opaque, so just keep layering it until you get the desired opacity. Next, I'm going to take some Scotch tape. I am going to place it on the back of my hand to get rid of some of the stickiness. Basically, I'm going to take it and apply it and follow my lower lash line up to the tail of my brow. You want to make sure that you press this on. This is going to give us a nice sharp edge and help us create the shape of our eyelid. Go in with the orange shades from the palette. This shade here and this shade here. And then I am applying it to this part of my eye, and as you can see, I'm just pulling it inward. That's going to give us the nice orange color up into that transition shade. And I like to pack on the color a little heavy because when we go in with the dark shade, we'll be blending it out. So it's okay to make it a little more intense at first. Now we're moving back to the eyelid, and we're going to take this rose gold shade here, and once your coconut watercolor shadow that we used all over the lid has had time to set, we're just going to go over top with the shade from the rose gold shade from the palette. This is just going to bring a little brightness, a little shimmer to the look, and keep things nice and bright on the lid. Any tapered blending brush will do, and I'm going in with this shade right here, kind of a rusty brown, similar to Cocoa Bear by Makeup Geek. And then you're just running this right in to the outer part of that crease. And remember, we're going to go in and blend once we get all of the colors on to our eye. So right now I'm just working on layering the color. And as you guys can see, I'm going back into the palette and dipping and tapping several times. I like to build up the product because it's always easy to add shadow versus take away. So that is what you will see me do right here. As you guys can see, I'm not taking this dark shade all the way in. I'm taking it right about to the middle of my eyeball. I want to make sure that you are blending it in and building it to as dark as you want. I might even just take mine up a hair higher here. My Goss 19 brush, and now I'm going to mix this brown here and this brown here. And I'm putting that right into my crease just to deepen that up and define it a little. Going back with this shade here that we used as our transition shade, I'm going to soften up the edges of the dark brown that we put in. Just blending it into that orange shade. And while you're doing this, you can certainly blend the orange as well. And then if you feel like the blending took away from the depth, you can go back in with those two brown colors that you mixed and this brush right here, or a brush similar, and just define the crease. To bring some more lightness to the inner third of my eye, I am going in with this shade right here, and I am applying that to the inner corner and the inner third of my eye, basically blending it in to that rose gold shade that we applied earlier, just to bring some light. And when you get to the middle, if you don't want it to be so harsh, you can run it back and forth like so, and it'll blend the shades into one another. Mix these two shades here for the brow bone highlight. The lighter one in this palette was too light, and then the other one was too yellow. So I found that by mixing the two, it created a really pretty brow bone highlight. And since we have so much shimmer and sheen on the lid, I just wanted to keep the brow bone matte. Once you have completed this portion of the eye look, carefully take off the tape. You should have that nice crisp line. Go ahead and run it right under your eye and remove any of the product that might have ended up all over your cheek and your under eye area, and you can go ahead and clean that line. I'm gonna go ahead and apply wing liner. You don't have to apply wing liner, you can apply whatever liner look you're wanting, but when I do something like this and I go with lashes, I like a nice strong wing. So I'm just going to follow the corner of my eye out to where that dark shade is and then bring it in. I'm just gonna go out and make a nice little wing there. Go ahead and do the rest of my face, and then we'll come back and do the lower lash line and pop on the lashes, and we will be done. So I'll be right back. So now we're going to add color to our lower lash line. I'll be using these same shades that I used for the rest of the eye look, and I'm going to be applying them in the same order. First shade I'm going to take is this shade right here. I am working that from outer corner to inner corner, and this you can bring down a little bit, and I like to extend it up past the wing here. Just really work on blending that out so you don't get a harsh line. Go in with these two orange shades again, mixing those. And I'm focusing this on the outer 2/3. I don't want to bring this all the way in. And then I'm going to go in with this brown shade here, that tight to the lash line, natural lashes lay. And then I'll just extend it up a little bit here just to blend that all out so there's not such a harsh line. Go ahead and take this liner from Kat Von D. It's in Runaway. It's a deep blackened purple. I just find with brown eyes, this in your waterline just really makes your eye color pop. I'm just gonna throw on some quick mascara to my upper and lower lashes. I'm taking my lashes and I'm gonna go ahead and apply these. Okay, and I'll zoom you in. You guys have it. There is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will say, if you have the opportunity to get your hands on this palette, definitely snag it up. This palette is heavenly, and you can create a lot of really pretty warm neutral eye looks, perfect for the fall this time. If you guys liked this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.